Do you object to men caring about a woman's body count? Starting with you. Go ahead.
I don't really think it should matter.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't care about what someone's body count is. I think it can remain private between you and your partner. If
What
you
do you mean it can remain private?
Like if you guys want to talk about it, then you can.
Would you
talk
withhold
about
that information if somebody asked you what yours was?
No.
Oh, okay. But so you don't care about body count, but do you object to men? Let's say a guy cared about your body count or another woman's body count and didn't want to date her because of that. Do you object to that?
I mean, it kind of just depends.
On what?
If, let's say, the man is a virgin and also wants to be with a virgin, then that's pretty understandable if they both want to lose their virginity to each other.
What if the man's not but still wants one?
I mean, he can have his preference. I think it's a little weird to specifically only want a virgin.
Well, hold on. So it could be a virgin, but let's say it could also be a woman who has a low body count. 1, 2, 3 partners.
I think it's...
Is that weird too?
No, but I think it's only weird if, let's say, the man's body count is very high and he's only seeking a woman with a low body count.
What if it's 10? His body count is 10 and he wants a girl who's got a body count of 1 or 2 or 0.
I mean, I just don't see how it should matter. It's not like if you go on these dating apps, there's like an option, because they have preferences on there. There's not an option like, oh, I want someone with this, like less than this number of bodies or this number. Like, is that something you're going to ask someone on their first date?
Sure. I would do it. I'll do it before the first date. slide into my DMs. What's your body count?
Even if it wasn't, even if it was a second or third date, like, who cares then? You're still going to ask, right?
Okay, I mean, like, you do you. Like, I'm sure if that's what you want, or whoever hypothetical person wants, and they, go on all these dates with different women and find out their body count and then reject them after finding out their body count, then after a certain number of women, maybe they will find that one person who doesn't care about their high body count or whatever their body count is, and then will also have a low body count, like what the man wants.
Okay, so you said previously, though, that you object to a guy who isn't a virgin. Let's say a guy's been with 3 women and he wants a woman who's a virgin. Do you object to that?
Well, is he actively seeking a woman, like they have to be a virgin?
Yeah.
That's a complete deal breaker.
Yeah.
I just think that, like, why do they want that? Like, it's a little
but who
weird.
cares why they want it?
It just seems a little bit strange, like almost like because I know a lot of people fetishize people who.
Yeah, but who cares? What if
virgins.
it's just a fetish? Who cares? Like, from your purview, why would you even care?
Well, because I think fetishization is a little bit weird. Like, people fetishize me all the time for being Asian. I stay away from those people. I think it's weird.
Being
Yeah.
fetishized.
Wait, so
for
do you think
being
it's
a
wrong to
virgin?
have like a racial preference?
I never said it's wrong to have a racial preference. I think it's weird to completely shut out a race because of your preference. Like, let's say you meet someone who isn't your normal racial preference, but you happen to get along, you have that connection, and you're open to seeing where things go, rather than just seeing like, oh, they're this race, I'm going to immediately cut them off because that's
Let me
not
try
my
this a
preference.
different way. Other than personal feelings, how you personally feel, do you have any objection to any of this? Do you have a single objection to a man with a high body count wanting a woman with low or no body count, or somebody wanting to date within only races? Other than just me feel, do you have any other objection besides my feelings?
I guess not, but I know you said
So
not
then
use
if
the
another
word
guy
feel.
says, yeah, but I feel differently, then you're basically...
I mean, people can do whatever they want. My personal opinion is that it seems a little weird.
You mean your feelings?
Weird. How is it weird?
Like, which thing specifically?
The guy who's slept with 5 women who wants a virgin.
Yeah.
Well,
Why is that
just
weird? And how?
actively seeking a virgin only, and that's a complete deal breaker because...
Sure. Let's say
you're-
that's the case.
Well, I'm not saying all of them, but it's pretty common for someone who is actively only seeking that's a deal breaker. It's like a fetishization, and they want to be the only
Okay, well, let's say in the
person
cases
who-
where it's not a fetish, they're not fetishizing it. Let's say it's religious.
Well, if it's religious, it should be on both ends. Like,
Why? Well, what? Wait, what? Why?
well, because, like, let's say, I mean, I don't know, like, what, educate me, enlighten me. Like, which religion?
Well, I mean,
is
you
it?
said it. I'm just asking you. Like, why
I
would
don't know,
it?
like,
Why would the
I have met
precondition of
people-
because you're religious mean that it has to be on both ends?
I didn't say it has to be, but
Mhm.
I think it would make more sense if you would rather be with someone
Right,
who's a
but
virgin.
it's not a fetish. Let's say somebody has what they consider a divine command. Right? And I'm not even specifically saying Christianity, anything like this, but let's just say a person believes they have a divine command to marry a woman who's never been with anybody else. That's their divine command. Now they're not in fetishization territory. Do you have any objection to it at all?
I mean, I guess not, because people can do whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
And, like, they can, like, there's someone for everyone. I'm sure they can find someone who agrees with them and has the same values and mindset as them. So, like, who am I to object?
Yeah. So there's really no objection to it. Other than you just kind of like are grossed out by fetishes, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you think for that situation it would only be considered a fetish?
Not only, but I'm just saying there are a lot of people out there who do fetishize virgins because of whatever reasons. Like, they think that it's pure, or like they want to be the first person to, like, enter them or take their
What's
virginity.
the difference between a fetish and a preference? Like
Yeah,
a
there-
sexual preference versus a sexual fetish. What's the difference?
So the difference is, if you have a preference, this is kind of what I was saying before, like, there's someone you prefer, but you're not completely shutting out someone else because of it. It's just, like, let's say I prefer, I don't know, like, strawberry cake, but there's only, like, vanilla cake around. Like, sure, I'll have some vanilla cake, even though I'd rather have strawberry cake. It's like, I'm not completely shutting out every other flavor of cake.
But if
That
you,
makes
what if you
sense.
only like strawberry cake?
Then yeah, but like I said before, you
Yeah,
can,
but is that a fetish? Because you only like strawberry cake.
it depends what your mindset is towards that type of person or race or, like, whatever it may be.
Well, forget all that. Just the strawberry cake, right? If you're just using strawberry, if
I
that's
think-
the
Can you
only
scoot into the
flavor you
table,
like.
please?
You draw the line at when it becomes obsessive.
Is-
Like, I have met oh, you can go ahead.
I just wanted to say the difference between a preference and a fetish is when you sexualize something, and a preference is just something you prefer.
Yeah, but can't you sexualize something as a preference?
Wait, say that again?
Can't you sexualize something as a preference?
Can't you sexualize something as a preference? I'm not
Like
I'm
what
not
if
quite sure
you're
what you mean.
like what if you're having what if you only like certain sexual positions as a preference? Is that a fetish?
It might be like a
No,
kink,
because
but-
that's probably not, because it's like that. It's not like, oh, this is the. Maybe if it's like, okay, I'm doing doggy style and then that's what gets me excited and that's it. Then maybe that's a fetish, yeah. But I mean, you might prefer that style because it's more comfortable on your knees. I don't know.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to distinguish what we consider to be a fetish and what we consider to be a preference.
Maybe we can come back to it. Let's continue with the panel. Do you object to men caring about body count?
Yes.
Why?
Cause why should it matter? Like, why I don't really know why I object to it. I just know that it is odd, and it is
Why is it odd?
because I'm not gonna go up and be all up in your business about, like, wanting to know about how many people you've slept with, and if I am, that's not gonna be a deal breaker. You know, that's not gonna change my mind about anything. Cause you could have a high body count for, like, other reasons and stuff like that.
But I mean, are there some things that
Augmented Autist donated $200. A man or woman seeking another with a low body count is not fetishization, it is predatorial.
Oh.
They are seeking control, which is easier achieved with someone who lacks experience.
Yeah.
what evidence? I mean, it's hard to engage in a
Just
conversation with the
just an
TTS,
opinion.
but what evidence do you have for that statement?
My feelings. It's just all feelings.
But did you finish your point? Or I think I was actually asking you. I think I asked, why is it odd?
Yeah.
Why is it odd? Speak your mind.
Well, I think I was answering that because it doesn't, like, a high body count being a deal breaker for someone, I don't know where to
You just
grab
you
the
just
thought from.
you
Hold
just
on.
don't like it, right?
I personally, yeah, and it has to do with my feelings. Like, yeah, I personally feel, I think it's odd. I don't understand it, and I think that's why I don't have a lot to speak on it.
Now
It's just because
let's
I
say
don't-
for a second
Uh-huh.
that there are men out there, because there's tons,
Mm-hmm.
who don't approve of the LGBTQ just based on their feelings. Is that okay with you?
No.
Oh, it's not. Oh, it's almost like your objection here
Yeah.
doesn't make a lot of sense.
No, and I'm hearing it not make sense as it's coming out of my
Here,
mouth.
moving on. Go ahead.
The question is, why does if I think
Do you object to men caring about a woman's body count?
yes, I think it's just weird, and like, how would you even know the person is telling the truth anyways?
Okay, but let's say you knew what her body count was because perhaps you were within her social circle and you knew that she had been with multiple men.
Okay, if you're finding it
But
out.
let's assume you know the truth, right? Why is it weird? That's the word you used, right? Why is it weird?
Okay, I think it's more weird, like a guy like basically borderline harassing you for your body count. Like that's weird. But
Okay,
if you already
yes.
knew,
If I agree to that, if a guy was harassing you for the answer,
yeah.
but that's not
Yeah,
really
but-
what
yeah,
we're.
but
Let's
like-
say a guy has a good faith reason for not wanting to date a woman with a high body count. He's not harassing you for
that's
the answer.
understandable. Like if I think if it's
Well, no, you just said it was weird.
Okay, I was thinking more from the aspect of like the lens of like someone being like, "What's your body count?" Like da 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 da, and some men like I see some stuff on the internet like, "Oh, if a lady has slept with over 10 men, she is no longer wifeable." Like let's be real here. Like that's probably about average.
What? It's about what?
It's probably like about average, like especially in today's society. Now, like if it's like a crazy number, then I can understand you having discernment. I mean, me personally, I wouldn't want a guy that's been all around the world, and I'm embarrassed to go out with you.
Wait, hold on. Wait. You're embarrassed. You would be embarrassed to date a guy who's slept with a lot of women, but when men don't want to date women who've slept with a lot of men, it's weird.
No, when I'm saying like a lot, I'm saying like in the hundreds, you know?
Yeah, what's considered a lot?
lot.
Because it could be subjective. So what do you consider a high body count?
I mean, I would say over 10. You're getting into a high body count.
That's
What if
simply
you're old?
unrealistic.
What if you're
It's
like
not
50?
unrealistic. You guys just
Is
don't
that
need to be.
unrealistic?
What's that?
What if you're older? You're like 50, 80 years old. Do you think it should still
Well, I
be
think
a-
age plays a factor here, but I think over 10, you are, look, it's not insanely high, but I would say you're over 10, yeah, it's high body count. Now, there's women, for example, who have 50 or 100, who that's also a high body count, but I think once you get over 10, you're in the kind of getting into high body count territory.